Pain is one of the biggest things that we manage through hypnosis is reducing pain factor. Your stress factor is money, providing safety and everything. And you have a different outlet than women do. Men, their validation is intimacy or food.
Lisa John, welcome to the Social Venture podcast. I don't know if I should say it again, but thanks for coming back on. You are an incredible individual who wrote a very, very powerful book, and you are a specialist in hypnotherapy, which a lot of people have no clue what that is. And a lot of people know therapy and different type of therapies, but hypnotherapy is very special in my opinion. And recently, it has become a thing. And I want you to please explain to us, what is hypnotherapy? Where does that come from? How did you get involved in hypnotherapy? How do you help people? How do you heal people? How do you fix people's minds?
Great questions. And thank you so much for the invitation, Joe. And hello to you as well. Well, thank you for the intro. My name is Liza Boubari, and I've been practicing as a clinical hypnotherapist, stress management consultant for over 24 years. How it started was I healed myself through hypnosis, and I guess I healed myself. I was an assistant to attorney and going through a lot of anxieties and stress. The body was breaking down on me, had just left a tumultuous relationship, going through divorce. And it was, I was working approximately 11 to 12 hours a day with the law firm. Next thing I know, I had issues again. They told me I'm going to have another surgery. So when I went to the HR director, she sent me to an acupuncturist. And it was the acupuncturist that on our second session gave me a piece of paper and said, hypnosis can help with your ovarian cyst. Lo and behold, never had to have my third surgery. And since then, I've had no issues, feminine issues. Now, I practice not only as a stress management consultant, but main thing is panic and anxiety. I work with fears and phobias. People who come to me, mindset, reset. What you're saying is about hypnotherapy is an augmentation to Western medicine. That's what I can say. We go in and out of hypnosis every single day. So it's not the new thing. It's been around for over a century. It's an old practice, but it's become more mainstream.
That's what I was trying to say.
Right.
Came back to light. It's more modern way of people treating themselves. Instead of going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they go to a hypnotherapist such as
Correct.
yourself. That's interesting. Tell me how you said it helped you, come back from divorce. You were going through a difficult time, stress. And how did hypnotherapy help you go through that part of your life, through that journey when, that it's a difficult part in anybody's lives, for men or women, when they go through a divorce? Explain to us, how did hypnotherapy help you?
Well, hypnotherapy helped for me to understand why my body was developing the cysts. And by understanding that, it was how to reduce stress in my body, how to overcome my anxiety, how to manage my depression and deal with what we call now the shame and the guilt and everything that we hold on to. What I like to say, it's not the things that we suppress. It's time for us to learn how to express and connect to our body. Because frankly, our body is talking to us. When it breaks down or when there is a dis-ease, that's what it's signaling you, take care of me. Just like a toothache, right?
I see.
When you get a toothache, you go to the dentist. When you have anxiety, you go to a therapist. So instead of going to a doctor that gives you Valium or Zoloft or something like that, instead of taking medicine, when you come to hypnotherapy, we delve into the root cause to find where the anxiety is coming from, why we have fears, and what you are holding on to. Actually, hypnotherapy is amazing in shifting habits and behaviors, negative habits and behaviors.
So there's no medication involved in this.
Not at all.
That's awesome.
Actually, I hypnotize myself, and I've had 8 root canals with absolutely no anesthesia.
Wow. That's awesome.
Really?
Yes. Mind over matter.
I'm so anti-pharmaceutical.
Well, I don't want to say anti-pharmaceutical, but if I have a natural way of doing it, why put something in my
But
body?
how do you do that? I don't. When you get a root canal, you have somebody in your mouth drilling a
They're
hole.
not in my mouth.
I know, but what I'm trying.
No, the endodontist, his fingers.
Yes, I'm trying to say they're operating, on your teeth, and they're
Yes.
drilling something, and that noise and that water, and that all that thing that's going on. You're concentrating. How do you take your mind completely somewhere else, and you're not present?
Actually,
Not
it's
a root
just
canal.
the other way around.
Do you concentrate on the root canal?
I become one with the whole procedure. So I become one with the sound of the drill, right?
Yes.
And then the water pick.
Yes.
And then the air
Yeah.
when it's doing it. But before all that, I sit there for 5 minutes and I do self-hypnosis in numbing my gum. So my gum gets the topical or the anesthesia
So hold on.
without the anesthesia.
So-
So I do
You
self-hypnosis.
didn't get anesthesia
No.
when you went to get her?
No.
Lord.
Can you fix the root canal?
On my own?
Yes.
No.
Because
I need my endodontist. He has to go and pull the nerve out. I can't pull nerve.
but the nerve itself, I've experienced went through the same thing because I had a MRI,
Right.
and I didn't realize that if you have cavities, that the magnetic fields. Like I was in a week of agony where I said, if I could just end my life right now because the pain was so bad. And they wanted to do a root canal after that. They said, "Oh, you need a root canal,"
Right.
which I didn't believe them. And then I had another MRI. Same thing happened. So I have some back issues too, and I try to just, cause I don't want them to. I just don't want them to mess with my teeth and sand them down and then put a crown on them, and so
Yeah.
Oh, just come to me. I'll help you. You'll just sit over there and you go, it's okay, I'm comfortable. See, the thing is, not everyone can do what I'm doing unless you train yourself,
So
right?
How do you do that?
You learn how to do self-hypnosis. Frankly, you learn how to do self-hypnosis. So it's a focused attention. The other day, I had a friend of mine who loves to play golf. He was talking about his golf game, how his golf game is not as up to par as the foursome that they do. And I said, self-hypnosis, you can just, if you come over here, I'll teach you how to do self-hypnosis. And if it is, you want to do more birdies, you want to do whatever, is it the swing? Is it this? We find out what it is that you need to refine, and in through self-hypnosis, you can start doing it because it's all about visualization and becoming so focused and ingrained to what you're doing. And he said, how is that possible? Well, Tiger Woods, his caddy, for the first 5 years, his caddy was doing hypnosis every time he wanted to go and do a shot. Every single person that it's in the Olympics or they are competing, they are doing mindset reset, pure guided visualization. So you become so focused with every nerve, every muscle, every organ, every tissue that of what you are doing, just like me,
Yeah.
that you become part of it, and we bypass the pain factor.
Wow.
That's it. So I've helped 11 women to have easy birthing, first-time babies with no epidurals. It's having a connection of the mind, understanding, connecting, and speaking to the
Women, are
body
you-
and the baby. So it's a contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion.
Women, are you hearing this? Save your
That's
husbands.
right.
Save your husbands a little bit more money. Take out the epidural. and go see Miss Boubari, and she'll make sure you have
Yes.
a baby without it.
Yeah.
So,
But
Easy birthing.
Bill, um,
Bill
yeah,
Gates.
Bill Murray was
Oh,
on
yes.
Joe Rogan, and he talked about a book that has helped his golf game. And it's same thing as what you're talking about is how you just everything outside gets shut off, and you just
That's it.
focus.
You go
on
into a
the
Zen
task at
state.
hand. And he said that's helped his golf game, and also it's not just for golf, but it's for everything and how to.
You want to stop smoking? Anyone who wants to stop smoking, in 3 sessions, they become a non-smoker. It's bypassing and shifting the mindset of the craving of cigarettes. Because just a month ago, I had a 68-year-old gentleman, Armenian, who came and wanted to become a non-smoker. Why? Because the doctor told him. If not, okay? So there's the fear factor, number one. He had already had a small little heart attack. So the family is like, Dad, you need to do this. All that didn't make a difference until his 4-year-old grandson came and said, Grandpa, I want you to stop smoking so you can live longer with me. Boom.
Wow.
He said, I will stop smoking for him. I want to be around for him. So having that emotional connection to what you want to do is profound. So that was it. 3 sessions. He's a non-smoker. A pack and a half to nothing.
How long?
Day?
3 sessions.
How long has he been not smoking?
It's already 2 months.
2 months. So 2 months quit.
2 months, nothing.
Cold
Not
turkey.
even a desire. Not cold turkey, through hypnosis.
But when
There's cold turkey. You make a decision and you stop.
I did cold turkey.
There you go.
It's been I quit February of 2017. So
Okay. Why?
Why? Because I had atrial fibrillation,
Okay.
and my heart was beating about 200 plus beats per minute at resting mode, like sitting down like this. My heart would beat 200 plus beats per minute, and my cardiologist said, you're welcome to continue, but
If not?
you won't have a fortunate foreseeable future. So
So the fear factor.
absolutely.
There was an emotional connection. There we go.
And same thing, I don't have any grandkids yet, but my kids, my wife, my family, first and foremost my kids, and then my wife, obviously. But what I'm trying to say, yeah, you're right, fear factor. I don't know if you have any fear factors you want.
Well, I started smoking. I think it was May of 2020. Oh yeah,
Cigarettes?
yeah.
You smoke now?
Once in a while.
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
But I mean, I started smoking because I had
Fear.
nothing else to do. I used to smoke cigars.
Bored.
boredom.
Boredom, just
That's-
something.
what did I tell you earlier? That's what
also,
rich people do.
What do they call it when you do once you do one thing, you kind of crave the other thing. So like I had a certain time of night where it was like my time, so I would go sit and I'd smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a cigar, I'd smoke a cigarette.
Well, most of our habits are for us. It's our time out or it's my me time.
Mm-hmm.
And smoking is a ritual
Yes.
that as long as I am smoking, do not bother me, or my smoking goes with my drink, or my smoking outside. As long as I'm outside, I'm by myself with my buddy.
Yeah.
You used to be a smoker as well, right?
Oh, yeah, I started smoking when I was 12 years old.
Jesus Christ. And how long did you smoke for?
I smoked until it was about 2 years into my practice. So it's been about 20 years that I have not smoked.
And did you use hypnotherapy to quit, or it was cold turkey, or
I
just
did not
fear
quit. I
factor?
stopped.
Explain to me the difference.
Words truly matter in the work that we do, in the way we speak. It's how we hear it. You're the first person that hears it. So quitting, we are trained, we are taught not to be a quitter. So every time we quit something, in the back of our mind, you're really going to quit that? But when you stop, You literally make a choice to stop. Just like losing weight.
Is quitting a choice?
Everything is a choice in life.
So what I'm trying to ask is, if I quit to smoke rather to stop.
I like to use power words instead of negative words.
So quit is negative.
Quitting,
Stop.
I
is
quit. I can't do it anymore. I quit. That means I can't go further. I quit because I don't have the
reason why
power.
I'm asking is because I kind of quit.
I
Because
understand.
I couldn't go any further.
So you're a quitter, is what I think she's trying
I
to
don't think so. No, I think he did not remember that there was a power word, or you didn't know better. You stopped.
I quit for the sake of my children.
Right.
Yeah, I quit smoking for the sake of my children, and I think a lot of people do the same thing. For their kids, for their for their family, for their grandchildren, as you were saying, that man was saying, because all of us have something way, way more important than ourselves outside, of our lives. If you're married, that is, if you have kids, if you have you don't have to be married, but you can have grandkids. You don't have to be married, you can have kids. What I'm trying to say is that besides ourselves, there's so many other factors that come into play that are so much more important. Therefore,
When you give it importance.
yeah, but how can you not give importance to children and grandchildren and, how can you not? They're so much bigger than yourself, they're the purpose of your life, kind of a deal.
True.
But you have to take care of yourself
Absolutely.
first
Right.
before you can take care of
That's
anybody
what I'm
else.
saying.
Right.
That's why you quit smoking. To
So
take care
they
of yourself, in order
actually-
for you to take care of your kids or,
Yeah.
or grandchildren.
But your kids were already around when you were smoking.
Yes, they were. But
Okay.
I know.
So it's not that you stopped because of your children.
Yeah, exactly.
You stopped because someone put a fear factor in you and said, if you don't stop, you're not going to be here.
I loved smoking
That's what I'm saying.
cigarettes. I loved smoking cigarettes
While you
But,
had children.
while I had children. Yes.
Exactly.
And then you're right.
Thank you.
The fear factor came
I
in.
rest my case.
The fear factor came in where, I feared where I may not live for much longer.
Exactly.
And I wanted to live for my children.
There you
to
go.
provide a future, a better future.
Because prior to that, you were still living for your children and you were still smoking.
You're right.
And the smoke was on your lips when you kissed them and transferred from your organ to their organ. But you didn't care because at that time you loved cigarettes.
Yes, you're right.
So the emotional connection to cigarette was more than you not being here.
Hypnotherapy versus meditation. Is it in the same category? Same
Okay,
field?
allow me to make a small little adjustment. Hypnotherapy is doing therapy through hypnosis. So I believe what you are asking is hypnosis and meditation.
Yes.
Okay. So the therapy has nothing to do with that. Hypnosis and meditation. Meditation we do in order for us to go into a Zen state, into that peaceful, quiet, letting go of everything and just every thought that comes, let it flow. Every idea that comes, let it flow until you become one with your surrounding, you become one with nature, you become one with that inner peace and quietness.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. I practice that all the time. Hypnosis is for you to become very acute and connected and aware of what is going on, not let it go.
Okay.
So
More
women,
focused.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Women are twice as much likely to have or feel or go through depression, anxiety, and many other factors, or many other disorders like that than men. I want to understand why, and how does that relate to hypnotherapy, and how can hypnotherapy, rather than regular therapy, help women to navigate their lives much better, or get past depression and anxiety, because women are a different creature. So
We are not not a different creature. We are the special creature.
Yes, you are.
We're the loving creatures. Um, okay. We're beautiful souls. We're not creatures.
You are, absolutely.
Okay. I think all humans are beautiful souls. So, do we go through it more than men do? I believe we hold on to it and we go through the extremes and experience more of it. Men take it in a different way. It's not that men don't go through it. It's just you exercise it and you bypass it in a different way. So men who go through anxiety, men go through fears, they go through insomnia, they go through a lot of stress, but the way you use it or release it is different. So you can go to poker night, you've got men's night, it's your car, it's your work, you immerse yourself in work and everything. So your position, it's not home, the children, the cooking, the parents, who did what, the driving and everything. Your stress factor is money, providing, safety, and everything. And you have a different outlet than women do.
But I want to understand, why are women twice as more likely to go through anxiety and stress and depression than men? You know,
Because
what
they
causes that?
experience more of it and they don't have the outlet to express it.
So they don't go out, they don't have a woman nights out.
It's not talking. It's how we hold on to it.
Okay.
Men release it, women hold on to it in a different way. And there are men who do not express what they're feeling because they've been told not to express their emotions. I have a lot of men who come to therapy going through panic, anxiety, fear factors, stress, dis-ease. But those are the main things. And smoking or drinking, they come to shift those negative habits. Women hold on to weight, their body image. Everything they do is for the outside, for my man, for my children, for my parents. So everything, the burdens are placed on a woman.
So you're saying men don't do things for others besides maybe themselves, but women are more likely, are prone to do things for, like you said, for their husband.
Women are more caretakers.
I have to agree because I was a stay-home parent for many years, and I think what I'm getting from this is that when you go to work, you're dealing with other adults. When you take care of children, you're dealing with your children, other people's children. You don't have that outlet to express yourself as an adult. I used to have a lot of moms come to me and want me to talk to their husbands and say, could you, he won't spend 20 minutes with the kids. Could you tell him how hard it is? Because he says it's not hard taking care of kids. And I said, well, it's very hard because at a job, you can escape. When you're taking care of your children, you can't escape because even when you go to the bathroom, try to sneak away to go to the bathroom, boom, the kid's like screaming. You're like, oh.
They open the door and walk in.
Oh, yeah. So I'm getting what you're saying as far as I don't know if it's as much, and you would know more of a gender or just a lifestyle. Like if you put men in women's positions of staying home and taking care of the children, I think they would be more emotional. I think they would have more empathy than being out in the workforce where you got to deal with, other men or also women, but you're all in competition for somebody's money or for a position or for a hierarchy. So
allow me to share just a small little glimpse. From the time that a girl is a teenager, okay, going through the body changes and everything, the way she dresses, the way she does, she's being told what to do, what not to do, because it's either good, what she's going to attract, or not. So she learns how to dress accordingly. Either don't do it this way or do it this way.
Quick question. Who does she learn that from?
Family.
Family.
It comes from family.
So
It comes from tradition. It comes from your upbringing. So women,
what about peers and the outside world and media and
well,
social
that's
media?
when you get into the school. But before school, there's do this,
see.
do that,
Got it.
right?
When you were younger, okay.
Okay. So I don't know how old your children are, but if you have a boy and a girl,
I have 3 boys.
okay, so you wouldn't know the difference. But if you had a girl, you would be more, um, this is the time I want you home, and watch over her in a whole different way than you would with your sons.
I feel the same way for my sons. This is the time I need you to be home when they're older.
Right. But it's different with a girl.
Yes.
A boy can go out and do a lot of things, but if a girl goes out at those hours, then she's already labeled.
You're right. As a father, I think
Okay.
you and he can confirm
I
this
have
because
a daughter.
he
and-
has a daughter.
I have a daughter, and I agree that
Men
you
are
know,
more protective over their daughters.
I'd be more apt to stop her from doing something late at night. All because of it's not. This isn't the 1950s, so you know you got homeless people and crazy people all over the place. I still worry about my sons, but not as much. You know, not as much because you know.
He can take care of himself?
Not only that, I won't. You know, he's gonna get bludgeoned on the head. She might get raped.
Thank you.
So, there's
So
a
do
difference.
you understand how you're already thinking? Raped. That means someone is going to do something to you. The other one is you're going to get into a fight.
Yeah.
Your choice. This one
Assaulted.
is not your choice. So from beginning,
Well, the assault is not his choice. If he's walking with head and
I
somebody hits him on
understand.
the head-
But if he gets into a fight,
yeah,
it's a fight. The other one, it's an attack. So women are more prone to be protected or told how to be or not to be from young age. So it's tradition, culture, and family.
That's you're saying until maybe the age of before the teens,
I mean,
right?
every girl is being groomed to be married.
You're right, but what
Okay? And then the moment she gets married, it's like, where's the kid?
you're right, but in recent years and recent times, a lot of young girls when they start going to school,
Yes.
I'm talking about starting maybe from the 2nd, 3rd grade, they are so influenced by everything around them, starting from their classmates, a lot of very young kids, 2nd, 3rd, 4th graders. They have availability to social media. They have availability just to media in general. And
All children do.
I don't know if all children do, but most children do, absolutely. And
Correct.
and that just what you were talking about, culture, family, religion, and you're told what to wear, what to do, so on and so forth. What I'm trying to say that in recent times, a lot of young girls are influenced by so many other factors besides their family, besides their parents, besides their religion, and to do and what not to do.
Celebrities,
Celebrities,
media. This is how the body is supposed to look.
exactly. And if somebody's a little bit overweight, imagine a 10, 11-year-old girl who's a little bit overweight, how bullied they get at school, in elementary school. I mean, nobody would get bullied at an elementary school, Now elementary school is a place for people to get bullied. And how do you change the factor where the parents impose thoughts into the kids that, hey, if you are a little bit overweight, if you are a little bit chubby, you're a kid, you're a baby, it's okay. Don't get criticized or affected by these other children who have no clue what's going on in the real world. How do you help parents, women, I'm talking about mothers, teach their children to not go through that, not to be affected?
Usually when I get to meet with the families, that means there's already something. That's why they come to me. Hypnotherapy is almost like, even though it's a mainstream nowadays and more people are referring families, especially teenagers and youngsters. I have a client, 6-year-old, who is,
You have a
she's
6-year-old client.
She's 6 years old and she's going through panic and fear factor
From
um, from a lot of stuff that is happening. So what kids do is when they don't want to hear, okay, when they don't know how to fix things, even as a kid, they express it in a way that because they don't know how to express what is going on inside, they express it with different tantrums and difficulties. They become difficult. Um, so when there is a fear factor and this little kid does not sleep and has to hold her body for 7 hours, 8 hours, it's not normal. So they've done all the medical tests. And in the first session, what we found out was that she holds because she's afraid the person who's in the room. So she doesn't want to go to the bathroom.
Um, I want to go back a little bit with the raising and the way
Yeah.
uh, girls are raised, and I think there's a lot of generalizations, but there are a lot of single parents, single mothers raising their daughters to be strong women.
Definitely.
There are a lot of single mothers also raising their daughters to be just go out there and have a good time and have sex with as many people as you want, and so just it's such a more deeper facet, I think, in today's, like when I grew up in the 70s. Girls dressed a certain way, boys dressed a certain way. I always said there was a tomboy who used to hang out with the boys and roughhouse with us. But today, I think it's hard to pinpoint anything with what's going on in society, because we were talking about morality and stuff. I know women that just they just they're at 40 now, and they decided they didn't want any relationship. They want to just go have a good time, and now they're having problems trying to find a man because they want to have a family now. And it's like they had all their fun, and now they're like, oh, there's no good men out there. And so I think with my daughter, I raised my daughter just to be free, into free speech, and to just if you have any questions, you come to me. If you want to ask, if you have anything that you can say any words. There's no words off the chart. You can talk to me about anything. You can talk to me, and if I don't, because I'm going through a divorce, so if I don't have the answer, we will find the answer together. I don't know how many parents actually. There was a show called Social Studies.
Social studies.
And my kids went to that school, Pally, and my daughter sat down. She goes, "You got to watch this." It just blew my mind that these women are on, these young girls are on TikTok shaking their things and showing everything, and their parents go. They go, "Do you check your kids' TikTok?" No, because I don't want to. I don't want to. I can only imagine what they're doing. I don't want to see what they're doing. This is a lot of parents too today. They're not even checking on their children. They're just letting them go amok. Do you find that?
Well, allow me to say this. My specialty is not in parenting.
Yeah.
My specialty is in helping those who come to me. I had one girl almost committing suicide because she was an A student last year in high school, and this is a year and a half ago. And the parents brought her to me because she had mentioned suicide. By doing so, she was taken to the hospital. The hospital took her to the ward, and then they transferred her to Olive View. And after 5 days in there, they brought her to me because she was going through panic and anxiety and everything that was in the works. What had happened was she was dating someone, and at age 16, very vulnerable, right? And she had lost a lot of weight, was not eating, depressed, anxious, almost suicidal, and the parents didn't know what to do with it. The entire cause because their former boyfriend, wanting to leave, had said, you know, you're quite overweight and frankly ugly.
What an idiot.
After a year of being with her or dating. So she took it so hard that from A student, she went down to C within months. And no one could understand that. By coming to me after 8 sessions, she got not only feeling stronger, more confident about who she is, her body image, finding her self-esteem rise, and realizing this is not about her, I mean, about him. It's all about you because learning how to find herself, that she is beautiful just as she is. She got accepted in 5 universities and she is now in San Diego University.
Wow.
She sent me one of the most beautiful flower bouquets and the parents, you know, they were having a hard time, but they made sure that they will do everything for their child.
Going off that note, how would you
So-
what suggestions or advice do you have for older women who are stuck in their personal lives? You know, there's a lot of women who are so-called housewives or, you know, mothers taking care of their children. They don't have a full-time job, and, you know, I think they have one of the most important roles in the world. However, social media influence, peers influence, where other women are successful in their personal careers, you know, affect their, you know, their emotions, their mental health, where, you know, I'm just a mother, I don't have a job, I'm not successful in my career. And there are a bunch of women who are housewives, but they have degrees, they have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, they have PhDs, or they're nurses, or, you know, PAs, or so on and so forth. But they chose to be a mother. They chose to be a, you know, a caretaker of that family. What advice do you have for them?
I take my hat off to you. That's what I have to say. I take my hat off to every single woman who is either in a career, a profession, juggling, home, family, parents. They are the sandwich people. And or those who are staying home and they chose to stay home to be a full-time mom, to have the best interest of their children, to be there for the children, and to be there and to take care of the home, because the home is a house until you make it a home.
Absolutely.
So it is the wife or the woman who keeps the home safe, the home nurtured, the home with the food and everything. And those are the women, every woman, I call it, if a man is in your life, may he cherish you as much as he loves you.
Now, on the contrary,
A
What-
woman respects as much as she loves.
what would you say to professional women who feel that they're not good enough?
Double hat.
Hold on. Professional women who have full-time jobs, they're
Yeah.
career women,
Mm-hmm.
they're married, and they have this feeling, and there's a bunch of women out there who have the feeling of that they're not good enough mothers, they're not good enough wives, they're concentrating on their work, they're concentrating on their career, and that state of mind comes into play where, you know, they get disappointed at themselves when they get home, mostly throughout the day when they're working there. You know, as my son says, they're cooking, what means like they're kicking ass, you know, they're doing great, you know, they're doing wonderful. But once they get home, that state of mind comes in where, hey, you know, I just got home, I have no clue what my kids did all day, my house is not in order, my laundry is not done, and so on and so forth. What advice would you give to that woman? Because it's nearly impossible to be a career woman and to be a housewife, or the other way around.
It's not that it's impossible, it is choices. And everybody makes a sacrifice. So the woman who stays at home with the children is sacrificing for the duration. Okay? It's a duration of until the kids are in high school, the kids are set in their ways or something, that this is my choice, that I have to do this. The other one who's in a career person, and I know many of my friends who are going to work at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock and coming home, and then they have to do the chores and everything while the husband is either watching TV because he's tired, or he's still at work, not showing up because he's not the cook. He's not doing the laundry. He's not cleaning up. He's not doing the diapers. More men, actually, nowadays, the new Gen Z generations are helping their wives, but majority are not. So she comes home. Again, she sacrifices certain things in order for her to do this. So it's either she's a career person and she's sacrificing that aspect. Hopefully she's got help with in-laws or sitters or something like that. Or everything in life is a sacrifice and a choice.
Is it a sacrifice or is it a compromise?
It's a compromise if you have the right person to compromise it with. You want me to be politically correct? No, I will. There are times that a woman gets home and she's not even appreciated.
Of course, I agree with you 100%.
Exactly. So it's the validation. It's the appreciation. It's like, I did all this, came home, did that, and I'm tired. I'm getting in bed and you're turning around and say, honey, I want some. It's like, are you really?
I think
So,
that's
they don't even have time for each other.
Do you think men should also be validated and appreciated as well? In the
We
same
all
manner?
do as human beings.
But no, I mean from the wife. Specifically from the wife, because men need their validation from their wives, their girlfriends, or their significant other.
Of course. There's a different validation. Women get validated in a different way that men do.
Give me an example.
Men, their validation is intimacy or food.
You're absolutely right.
I know.
Especially for food.
Exactly, you
when you
come
go
home,
home-
you smell that thing. It's like, I'm home, right?
Yeah, that means your wife respects you,
Right.
loves you,
And
cares
the
for you.
kids and everything, exactly.
But
But you're talking about a very traditional mindset. Nowadays, when you come home, everybody's fetching for themselves because everybody's coming at a different hour. Kids don't sit and have dinner with the parents. I mean, I've got teenagers, they say, no, I eat in front of the TV or I'm in front of my computer doing my homework or on my social media.
You're right.
You go to a restaurant, kids nowadays, the parents put the video in front of them so they can have their own social media time or have a conversation because they haven't had time with each other.
So, and the difference in generations, right? So I know that both my grandparents used to fist fight on both sides of the family, and but they stayed together. They would actually fight, and they would. My Puerto Rican grandmother would hit my German grandfather with a frying pan in the head. My Irish grandfather would fight with my Italian grandmother, fist fight, and that's the way. And I just said, well, I don't think everybody did that, but that was a way of communication with the people that really didn't have any education, didn't have a high school education and stuff like that. Today, I think a lot of men are understanding women in helping, like you said, the Gen Xers. I think some of my generation, I'm a Gen X, the Gen Zs you said.
The Gen Zs.
I think some of my the Gen Xers, I think it's actually, it's
Evolved.
changing, it's evolving. And it's just different. I mean, because what you're used to growing up with is now like two parents in the house. I mean, the numbers of divorce is like, 40%? White people are now divorced for almost 50%. So now the kids have to deal with going from one parent to the other parent, and where I didn't have to deal with that. And even though my mother and father used to sit there and watch their parents fight, both parents were still in the house. So it's a lot of different things.
But a lot
Did
of
you know that there is more attorneys and doctors and engineers as women are more in the universities graduating as doctors and even engineers and scientists and everything? Women have upscaled nowadays in the universities at a higher level, and they do continue all the way to masters and PhDs and everything, and men go to work, right? So that factor, and yet when you look at domestic violence, it's still 41% women, the highest educated ones.
hold on, it's 41% of higher educated women who get
There is still, I mean, when you do it, there 41% right now. If you look at domestic violence, women are in more domestic violence situations than men. Men on the from 1 to 10, there is 3% men who are in a abusive relationship than because they do
I mean, it's
go through it, and women.
it's usually, yeah.
But when you look at it,
Tom,
it's not.
can you quickly pull up? There you go. About 41% of women and
Is it? Is it?
26% of men have experienced contact, sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner during their lifetime. About, what is it, over 61 million women and 53 million men have experienced psychological aggression by
Of
an intimate
course.
partner in their lifetime. I mean, usually, I mean, just thinking logically, it's usually men abusing women. I'm sure there are some crazy women who
Majority.
yeah.
Majority. But what I'm
Majority,
trying
yeah.
to say is there are more successful women. It's not that they are not educated. It's not that they don't know any better. It's just it. So when we are talking about success and women staying at home and being a wife or a career person has nothing to do with how much women go through or how much they take on.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
By all means,
And,
bring it on.
So because it's women are they're overtaking everything, but how much of this do you think is due to the foolish world wars that we lost so many men, young men? I mean, our young 18 to 20-year-old men went to war and lost their lives or lost their minds, and they came back, and so there was women had to actually step up and take a bigger role in family and in raising children when their husbands left and were killed in Vietnam War or the World War II. You think it was they just
I don't think it would be that many, to be quite frank.
you know how many
Yeah.
men
No, what I mean
men-
is that I don't think there'll be too much. Yes, a lot of men have died in world wars and Vietnam and Afghanistan, Iraq in recent wars, but I don't think that's the only reason why women have stepped up and became.
no, but I think that's also
It might be a contributing factor,
contributing
yes, but
factor
I
that-
don't think it's a big percentage. Just overall, in my opinion, feminism or the feminist movement has taken on, the minds and the souls of many women for them to get, educated, independent, don't need the men, don't need marriage, they can do everything by themselves. That type of mentality has risen, and I don't know if you can agree or confirm this, yourself or through friends or your, the time of your life when you were growing up. Is this something
Well,
relatable?
It gets to a point that after a certain age, because you're not going to have a child or a woman, why get married? Or if they want a child nowadays, they can go to a bank.
If you are old, if you are older, let's say if you're in your 40s or mid 40s and you get married,
You mean over 50?
let's say over 50, even
Yeah.
over 50, and over 50, it's a little bit more difficult for you to have children. And if they decide not to adopt, okay, and they don't have children, there is still a reason for you to get married. It's not like, oh, I'm 50, I'm not going to get married. Yes, I think you should get married. And when I say married, it doesn't have to be married going through the church and going through the ceremony, but have a significant other, have a partner, live with that partner, him or her. So you grow together, you grow older together, And what I mean, you grow older, you're
You
not
will
going to
be
have anybody to give you a glass
A
of water.
great companion,
You know?
life companion.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Life companion.
Marriage is not. Marriage is not.
Marriage is for children.
Yeah,
So let's get back to hypnotherapy.
Exactly. I was just going to say. Let's get back to hypnosis. Do you want me to hypnotize
Yes,
you?
How does hypnosis empower women?
Hypnosis does not empower women. Hypnosis gives them tools and techniques for them to have a better control over their anxiety, over their weight, over their insomnia, over their IBS, even managing their menopause and pain. Pain is one of the biggest things that we manage through hypnosis is reducing pain factor.
What's the number one reason women come to you?
Weight,
Oh, Jesus.
managing weight. And it's not so much the weight of dieting. It's not the weight that they exercise. It's the yo-yo. It's the emotional weight. So one of the things that my book says is stand up to slim down. That means stand up for who you are so that you can slim down. That means releasing all that baggage, the pain, the shame, the guilt, all the resentment that has been placed upon us, and it's all energy. We hold on to it. Some women pack it on to so that they're not attractive. So it's not what you eat, it's what's eating at you, and that's what we peel away.
How much of the social media do you think? Because I despise it, even though we need it. It kind of hypnotizes people into a certain way of thinking.
Oh, every advertising.
Yeah.
Advertising when they, even the word lose weight, that so many weight loss places say that, come to us to lose weight, lose weight, lose weight. That means you are in such a dire need to lose. And when you lose, what happens? You feel bad. You feel sad. You feel depleted. So you will go and add to it or replace it with something else. So it's all words, power words versus words that deplete you or put you down. And the media, social media is amazing at making sure that if you don't do Botox, if you don't do this, you're not going to be as appealing for the man, for the other person.
Are you pro like Botox, pro, what do you call it? I don't even know what they call those things, those injections and.
I am pro for whoever wants to do whatever they want to their body.
Got it.
It's not for me.
Got it. I have another question for you.
Do I look like I have?
No, that's why I was asking. You look fantastic. You look
Allow me
beautiful
to say this. Audrey Hepburn was one of the most beautiful icons of every woman. I mean, she did Breakfast in America, right? So the Tiffany's, not Breakfast in America, that's a song.
Yeah, Breakfast at
Tiffany's. And when we think about Audrey Hepburn, her elegance, her grace, everything, and then when she became an ambassador with America, yes, look at that beautiful.
Before and now, wow.
Before and now.
She looks beautiful.
Not a Botox.
There's no Botox there.
Nothing. She believes that every single line is talking to who am I, what have I gone through, and my face tells my story.
Lisa, thank you again for coming.
It is my pleasure. This was absolutely
We
amazing.
appreciate it. Can you, I know you've recently started hosting a radio show.
Yes.
Can you please tell everybody where they can find you?
You can find me at lizaboubari.com or the radio show. It's every Sunday at 10 p.m. at night, and it is on AM 870. So realtalk870.com is my website, and every Sunday, 10 p.m., I go live on AM 870.